They tell us we live on a round globe spinning 1,000 miles an hour. I say we live under a dome on a round disc with the firmament that covers the earth. What says you? Shalom, family trendsetter. I'm driving, as you can see and hear, so please bear with me. Now, I want y'all to listen to me, and I know what I'm about to say is going to sound bugged out, crazy. Let me just say this, man. There's a saying, truth is stranger than fiction. Truth is stranger than fiction. A lot of times when you hear something crazy or something that you never heard before, it seems like it's bugged out. I use the word bugged out a lot, like it's crazy then, okay? But do we know, or have you ever considered, right, who these people that live amongst us really are? Like, in other words, we see them, we accept them as human beings because, you know, they speak with you, they greet you, they talk, they laugh, they joke, whatever the fuck. They act like us, you know what I'm saying? They act like a normal person. But what if I was to tell y'all that not everyone, I would say maybe 15, if that many, 15% of these so-called Caucasoid are actually human beings. A lot of them are not. A lot of them are actually clones. Some of them are clones, and I know when I use that word clone, this is where I'm gonna lose a lot of y'all, right? A lot of them are clones. A lot of them are actually non-human. They don't have any soul. They may have a lifeline, which is a spirit, or a life force, I should say, which is a spirit that keeps them ticking. But they're not human, family. You see, when we say that shit to y'all, y'all like, come on, man, what are you talking about? They're not human. Because they have conditioned us. They have taught us their narrative. They have spun the narrative and taught us how to think. Now, when you look at a so-called white man, right? Let's focus on a white man with the blonde hair and the blue eye. Just look at him. Just take a close look. Let me tell you something. I have a lawyer, right? And that motherfucker, look, I have a lawyer and I have an accountant. Both of them got blonde hair and blue eye. One of them actually got white hair and blue eye. But when I'm up close and personal with them, like when I'm, you know, sitting around a desk and I'm going over some, you know, some transaction or whatever, and I'm looking at their eyes, I'm like, I'm staring at, they're talking to me, right? You know, conducting business and shit. But I'm looking at their eyes. It's the eyes that went into the soul. And these motherfuckers don't have no soul, family. I know how to read a nigga eye. I know how to read somebody's eye when they have a soul. Like, if I'm talking to my kids or I'm talking to my family member and I'm looking, because I like to stare people down when I talk. I give them eye contact. People don't even like looking at me. They say, why you all looking at me like that? Because I'm trying to read you, nigga. That's why. And I'm looking in their eyes. I could see the humanity. I could see, you know, the expression on their face. If they're talking and they're trying to make a joke, you have that humorous face. You know, you can see they're not pretending. But when I'm dealing with these two individuals, it's always straight to business. All about that money, that guap, that in God we trust. And they won't look at me. They oftentimes look down. And that's how you know you can't trust a nigga. When you talking to them and shit, they looking down or looking away from you. That's when you know they trying to hide something. Because the eyes is really the window to the soul. A lot of times you see these devils driving and they're wearing sunglasses. Even when it's cloudy, they're wearing sunglasses because they're covering up. A lot of them got slit in their eyes because they got the reptilian eyes. Family, I know it sounds crazy. And you know what? I hope it does sound crazy. Because when some shit sound crazy, you're going to say, you know, let me go behind this nigga and see what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? It'll prompt you to go and do some research of your own. Now, I told y'all before in past video that I've seen some stuff that I personally should have never seen. You know what I'm saying? They slipped up. And that's the thing with them. They don't always, you know, be on point. They always make mistakes. And it's for you to have a spiritual eye to see things that the carnal man cannot see. All right? You have clones walking around. Now, a lot of y'all might say, here we go. Now we know this dude is bugged out. First, he believed that the earth is flat around this with a dome over it. Then he's saying people are cloned. Yes, they are. How you know you not a clone? Let me tell you how you could tell if you a clone or not. If you find yourself just don't giving a fuck, just like whatever, take whatever comes, whatever the white man tell you, you believe everything they say. You find yourself following a massive, being a Christian, dedicated to Jesus, no matter how much we try to prove to you that this character never exists. And if he exists, it's not who you think he is. And eating of his body and drinking of his blood is not in the Bible. You're not supposed to be doing this shit because life is in the blood. And we're doing all of this, and you're still not convinced that something is wrong, then you might be a fucking clone. When you're a clone, you're programmed to go with the mass. In other words, you're not who you were originally. Okay, you might be an AI, you might be an artificial intelligence. Who knows? I know something. You can laugh all you want. Yeah, this nigga's crazy. Okay, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But when you find yourself trying to seek out the truth, you know what I'm saying? My man OTT, I gotta keep shouting him out because this dude, man, his channel is off the chain. You know what I'm saying? We have other channels out there. I mean, I don't remember their name and shit, but I mean, we got a bunch of them out there. You got truth seekers out there. I got a lot of my subscribers. I have another one that subscribes to me. Her name is, I think, Seeking the Truth. You know what I'm saying? And I like that because what that tells me is that y'all not just complacent. Y'all not just going along to get along and shit. You feel me? So I want y'all to understand, family, like it's a lot of things out here, man, that we are not privy to. You believe these people that's in power, right? The powers that be, these elites, the government, the officials, the politicians, you know what I'm saying? Do you really believe that they got that status because they have, let's say, an ability to lead? No. They have an ability to lead us, you know what I'm saying, human beings, because we're not like them. The Bible said, it tells you in the Bible, the same Heliobiblus book that we read and we believe in, right? It says, the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. Okay, paraphrasing, of course. Who covers the face of the judges there are. Then even in Revelation, the New Testament that a lot of y'all like to run to, it tells you when Jesus said, you are of your father, the devil, who was a murderer from the beginning. So he's telling you, they're telling you these things in the book. But y'all don't want to believe this shit because, a lot of y'all read the Bible. Oh, yes, I believe in the Bible. But when you see things in the Bible, right? Y'all try to say, oh, it's not literal. That's symbol. Everything is all symbolic and shit. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't, well, he didn't mean it that way. Then why did they put it that way? You know what I'm saying? The Bible is literal. Okay? Yes, there's passages in the New Testament that's symbolic and shit because, this Jesus Christ never existed. So they gotta, when you try to find, like when you find something out, right? You like, wait a minute, that shit don't make no sense. Then somebody said, well, no, that's not what it means. That was a parable. They bring that parable shit up when they try to explain shit away. When when you catch them out, they be like, look, man, that didn't make sense. Jesus said there shall some standing here shall not taste death until the Son of Man come in his kingdom. And guess what? A lot of motherfuckers is gone. And they said, nah, that's not what he meant. That was a parable. He's talking about now. No, he said he was talking to people that was standing right present with him at that time. So don't give me that shit talk about 2,000 years later. Yeah, get out of here. I guess my grandfather thought that shit when he read it. He thought he was, he's going to come around his time too. Listen, they tell you that shit because they want you to keep looking and seeking after something that ain't never existed, that ain't never going to show up. You know what I'm saying? Jesus said, so there shall some be standing here. He told the thief on the cross, right? And they say he was hung on a tree, but yet still, he was, what? I just thought of something. Didn't they say, Acts 5:30, they said in Acts 5:30 that Jesus was hung on a tree, right? But then Christianity and these movies and shit depicting Christ turned to the thief on a cross. And I know y'all gonna say, but the cross is made out of a tree. No, nigga, it's literal. He said he was hung on a tree, hung. He didn't say crucified to a cross. Yo, pastors say that shit, right? The Catholic priests say that shit. But in the Bible, Bible, New Testament Bible tells you he hung on a tree. Acts 5:30. This is why I started to examine this book, man. Like, wait a minute, what exactly are we reading here in the New Testament? The Old Testament is a suspect too. Don't get me wrong, because I done seen a lot of crazy stuff in the Old Testament too. And, only because of the discerning spirit that I have, I'm able to say, I'm not going to throw away the baby with the bathwater, because even though I just caught this passage right here as being contradicting to that passage, I'm not going to throw the book away, because you know what? There's a lot of good things. What they have done, family, they have put a lot of lies with some truth in it. You know what I'm saying? They said that the Bible is our book. It's not our book. It's not. It's the heathen book. That Bible that we read is a book that they came up with to control us. And what they have done they have put some of our history in that book. Our history is in that book, the Helio-Biblos Bible. But that's not our book. I'm telling y'all, that's not our book. You know what I'm saying? The Old Testament is primarily our book, but the New Testament, that's not our book. Because remember, in the New Testament, Jesus said he came, first of all, he contradicted himself, because on one hand, and I believe that Messiah that came, that not even a Messiah, that prophet that said he came not onto the lost sheep, not only, neither came not, but only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, paraphrasing. I believe he was a good prophet. I believe he did exist. And what they did, they took that prophet, you know how they like to, you know, copy our shit, copy our records, and, you know, these are culture bandits and shit. So they probably took that story and said, you know, let's create our own savior. So when that savior came and said, look, I did not come but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel to teach them back the way to the law, statutes, and commandment, I personally believe that he existed. And he was just a regular prophet, not the son of God and none of that shit, just a regular man that came. And they probably seen him, he was probably a rebel rouser and shit. And they say, let's get this nigga and hang him on a tree. You know, like how they've been hanging our ancestors for decades and shit, you know what I'm saying? Hundreds of years, centuries, as a matter of fact. So that's what they did. They got the story from there and they said, let's create our own savior. And let's just call him the Son of God. Let's go one step further. Let's just say, fuck it, he wasn't a prophet. He was a son of God. You know what I'm saying? Let's make him more important. Deify the nigga. And then they gave you a white image, said your Borgia and shit. So I say that's son of God. But yes, that's the son of God, but which God? Not the God of the Hebrew. The God of the Hebrews, right? Sent that prophet to come and teach us back the way to the law, statutes, and commandment, right? And they killed him. They hung him on a tree. But the other motherfucker that they say was hung on a cross, that other nigga, that other homo, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of y'all worship in church, that nigga was created by man. You know what I'm saying? Cedric Borgia, for y'all to worship Caesar Borgia, whatever his name is. You see what I'm saying? Calling him God, or God's son. y'all, I tell you, man, I'm trying not to go there with y'all Christian, but y'all are bugged out, for real. Y'all niggas is bugged out. You know what I mean? Talk about eating of a man's body. Look at this motherfucker right here. All praise be to the Most High. Judgment is upon these devils. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a man, you for eat of a man's body and drink of a man's blood in remembrance of him. Shit, my father died. I don't drink of his blood. And I see my father. My father did some shit for me. He blessed me. He made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? Took care of me and my family. If anything in remembrance of him, I should be drinking of his blood and eating of his body. But I'm not doing that shit either, because life is in the blood. And that's not even, doesn't make sense to eat of nobody's body and drink of nobody's blood. That's cannibalism. That's vampirism. But anyway, family, look, man, I don't know, man. Look, I don't know how often I got to come on here to knock the shit in your head that we need to fall back from this religion called Christianity. A lot of y'all might be clones and shit. That's why y'all so indoctrinated, you know what I'm saying? Programmed to believe this bullshit. I don't know about y'all, but me, I'm not a clone, because I go against the grain. I don't believe nothing the white man say. And they the one that's ruling. They the one in power. So if they tell me to run, I'm walking. If they tell me to bring an umbrella, I'm bringing a motherfucking scuba board and shit, go ready for the beach, because I don't believe nothing they say. Matter of fact, it's winter time now, right? If they tell me tomorrow it's gonna be snowy, I'll probably say, you're a lying motherfucker. I'll probably wear some shorts and then get caught out there in the snow. That's how much I don't have no trust in these devils. But family, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think y'all a clone? You might be a fucking clone. One of y'all niggas might be clones. One of my subscribers might be a clone, because y'all still subscribing to that Yahweh Shai or that Yahushua or that Jesus character. Y'all a program, man. Y'all need to wake up before it's too late, because when that Gentile destroyer comes, he's not only coming to destroy just a Gentile, he's going to destroy y'all dumbasses too for believing in this fictitious character that never existed. But with that, family, I say shalom. I'm out.
Man who looks like Mike Tyson lured her into a sexual assault. Police say the man, claiming to be the former boxer's manager, invited a woman to an after-hours club in Houston over the weekend, and that is where the victim says the lookalike sexually assaulted her. Now, the lookalike even has a tattoo similar to the one Tyson has on his own face. The real Mike Tyson heard about the investigation and shared a photo taken with fellow celebrity Jenny McCarthy. It places him in Florida when the incident in Houston took place.